Ever wondered why you feel so terrible when you get sick? It is not just bad luck.
We all do it, searching symptoms online, hoping for a quick fix for our sudden, mysterious ailments.
We raid medicine cabinets, call doctors, or just wait it out, trying to understand what is happening inside.
But for most of human history, that knowledge did not exist. No medicine, no doctors, no understanding. Just pain, fever, and weakness. Your body failing in ways you could not explain, yet people still survived.
They raised children, built communities, and eventually entire civilizations. But what did they actually do when they got sick? The answer is stranger and more human than you would expect. Let us go back, way back, 200,000 years. For most of that time, modern medicine did not exist. Humans had no idea that microscopic organisms were responsible. From their perspective, illness appeared almost supernatural. There was no visible wound, no predator, no obvious cause. One day you were fine, and the next, your own body seemed to turn against you from the inside. Ancient humans reached the only conclusion that made sense. Illness was caused by demons, or punishment from the gods. The Sumerians believed illness was caused by demons. Ancient Egyptians believed it was punishment from the gods. The body was seen as a vessel, sickness as an intrusion, and healing as removing that intrusion. At first, this sounds primitive, but here is the fascinating part. They were not completely wrong.
The explanation was wrong, but the instinct behind it was surprisingly close to the truth.
Ancient humans just did not know it was bacteria, viruses, or parasites making them sick. But in the meantime, humans got creative. The earliest healers were the doctors of that era. They believed they could communicate with whatever force was causing the illness and convince it to leave.
Archaeological evidence for this goes back at least 40,000 years. Burials show people with severe injuries surviving.
Crushed bones, missing limbs, conditions that should have made survival impossible alone. And yet, many of those injuries had healed.
Someone was feeding them, protecting them, keeping them alive while they recovered. Humans were already trying to heal each other.
The oldest surgical procedure we know of is trepanation, drilling a hole in the skull. We have skulls from 10,000 years ago. And here is the part that stops you cold. The bone had healed around the edges, meaning the patient survived. Someone 10,000 years ago cut open a human skull with a stone tool, and the person lived long enough for the bone to grow back.
We do not know exactly why they performed trepanation. The most common theory is that they believed something was trapped inside the head. Humans are incredibly persistent. They experimented, improvised, and kept trying things that should have been impossible to survive.
That is what ancient humans did when they got sick. They improvised on the edge of death.
While shamans performed rituals, something else was happening quietly in the background. Something less dramatic, but far more important.
Humans were observing, remembering, and passing knowledge from one generation to the next, not through myths, but through experience. They began noticing that certain plants actually changed how sick bodies felt. Some reduced pain, some lowered fevers, some helped wounds heal.
Willow bark reduced fever. We know this because ancient Egyptian medical texts from 1500 BCE specifically recommended it. Willow bark contains salicin, which your body converts into salicylic acid, the active compound in aspirin.
They did not understand the science behind it. They just knew it worked.
So they kept using it, passed it down, refined it, and years later we extracted the compound, synthesized it, and sold it.
Sold it in every pharmacy on Earth. The molecule is the same. The knowledge is 100,000 years old.
Every single one of these has a long history of documented medical use. Humans were observing outcomes, remembering what worked. But this is where the story gets more complicated, because not everything ancient humans did actually worked.
They gathered around the sick. They sang, they prayed, they stayed awake through the night beside them.
Social support can lower stress hormones. Feeling cared for can reduce pain. Even the belief that help is coming creates biological changes.
And ancient humans had discovered ways to trigger it tens of thousands of years before anyone understood what it was.
Collective belief and emotional support were creating real effects inside the body, even without a scientific explanation.
And the truth is, modern medicine never fully replaced that. Both still matter. Modern medicine is extraordinary. Antibiotics, surgery, vaccines, machines that let us see inside the human body without opening it. We have treatments today that would have looked like miracles to almost every human who lived before the 20th century. But even with all of that, one thing has not changed. Research consistently shows that patients who feel genuinely cared for recover better. Doctors who spend more time with patients tend to get better outcomes, regardless of the medication they prescribe. Ancient humans understood something we still keep rediscovering today.
Underneath all the rituals, plant remedies, shamans, and desperate medical experiments was one simple idea.
They refused to do nothing.
For 300,000 years, the human response to illness was never just surrender. It was resistance.
People refused to sit back and watch each other die without trying something. The impulse behind them mattered. The refusal to accept that a person should simply die from something invisible and unexplained.
That impulse is the reason medicine exists at all. So if all those people had not kept trying, would you even be here today?